but he's just overwhelming, a great character. What ultimately happened though is that they got interfered by Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers with Don Callis, because Kenny Omega finally made it there right before Impact went on the air. It's hard to determine what all they're going to do from this point, because both Edwards and Callahan deserve a shot to possibly face Omega. I would have probably, if it was me, if I wanted someone to determine a win, I'd probably put it Callahan in there for no other reason that I think it would be a good change of pace for Kenny Omega to face Sami Callihan. There is similarities that Sami Callihan might have with Jon Moxley or even Eddie Kingston. Even Callihan and Moxley tag team as I think Switchblade Conspiracy, if I remember correctly, in like CZW. But either way, Vengeance tried to help save him and didn't really get much beyond that, because Good Brothers were able to take it away from them here. One of the other things I forgot to mention is Impact advertised for El Phantasma from New Japan Pro Wrestling and Bullet Club member to be joining Impact next week. So it would be interesting to see where he goes, whether or not he goes to help out Omega and the Good Brothers, or whether or not he might even side with Finjuice, or doesn't side with any. It would be interesting how they book this one, especially with, like I said, with Impact, AEW, and New Japan all working together. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be really, really good. I think this is probably the best possibility that anyone would have to kind of keep nicking at the armor that WWE has built in the States. So it would be interesting to see what they're able to pull off here. There's also been a lot of news coming out of both the WWE releases and everything else. One of the things that WWE constantly has is that if someone wants to meet with Vince, they have to wait outside of his office. He doesn't make appointments for them, I guess. And even one of those would be of the more recent release people were Cutler and Chelsea Green. And apparently Cutler was told not to wait by his door anymore, and just told to wait in catering. And I just don't understand this one. You had the Forgotten Sons, which were Cutler, Jackson Riker, and Wesley Blake, that were part of the Forgotten Sons in NXT. They move up to the main roster, and because of Jackson Riker causing a lot of trouble with the right-wing conspiracies that were going out there, and ultimately being suspended and taking off TV, Wesley Blake and Cutler lost their jobs. But Jackson Riker's still there. He's currently the roadie for Elias. Which, why? If the person that caused the trouble for the other two keeps his job, why would you cut the other two? It just doesn't make sense. And the Forgotten Sons, if I remember correctly, they're kind of like a biker gang, a la Aces and Eights. But yeah, why? It just doesn't make sense. And WWE, again, they're one of those where they're definitely going to be the largest company, continue being the largest company in America. They are way too large to go away from it. It's just one of those things we want to see other companies do well. We want to see other people get the viewers and make WWE change some of the ways they do things. And I think the only way it's going to be possible is if, AEW, Impact, and New Japan do team up and work together as a talent exchange. Because as long as AEW keeps doing the good viewers that it does, even though it went under 1 million recently, which is understandable, there was a presidential address. They're going to take a hit either way. If they keep doing the numbers that they're doing, they are going to keep making WWE sweat a little. Now, granted, WWE is not on Wednesday nights anymore, and I think it would be a terrible idea for AEW to go to Monday nights, just because everyone's accustomed to tuning into WWE on Monday nights. I don't think they're going to break that habit as wrestling fans. I would hate to say it that I'm, not necessarily a big fan of WWE. I do like a lot of the talent there, but I'm so accustomed to watching Raw, even though I record it. It would be hard for me to break the habit of not turning on Raw on Monday night. I've been kind of habitually been doing it since 2001. So, I don't think that's a good idea for AEW. But making WWE sweat if they start getting to the point where they're beating WWE in their ratings, especially a Raw versus Dynamite, I think that will make them sweat and, make them change a little bit of their creativity here. One thing I will give Impact credit for from this past week is they definitely had a continuing thread throughout the whole night, which I haven't seen in years. It's been a long time since I saw, the one show included the same story pretty much throughout the whole night. They had whether or not Kenny Omega will be there, who's going to end up facing Kenny Omega down the line, who's going to be the number one contender based on the tournament. It's really, really good writing in that sense. It's a very cohesive story told throughout the whole night. And it's just one of those things that we definitely need. And it's one of those things that we wish other TV shows would kind of copy. One of the recent releases, which was Andrade, looks like he's going to be making his debut with the Federation. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. But it looks like he'll be facing another former WB talent that's in a little bit of legal trouble right now in Alberto Del Rio. But it's good to see he's landing on his feet and getting bookings. I wasn't necessarily too shocked he would be getting bookings. It's more or less, I want to see where his home will be, whether it be CMLL, AAA, MLW, NWA, AEW, New Japan, Impact, wherever he lands. I want to see where he goes from there. He was definitely a good talent, top tier talent. But at the same time, I want to see where he goes. He should have been taken care of a lot better than he was in WWE. And the fact that him and his manager from WWE, Thea Trinidad, is also available to sign. I like to see where they go. I'm not much for rehashing a WWE idea, but leaving them as talent and manager would be a really good thing. She was a really solid manager, very entertaining. She could also get in the ring and wrestle. In that sense, I would probably put her within like Impact, because Impact is a really strong women's division, but we'll see what happens. And a few weeks ago, we talked about Sammy Guevara getting in trouble with AEW and Impact for not wanting to go there over a creative dispute. Apparently, he came out with an interview with Fightful and kind of addressed it. He basically just said what it came down to is the idea he didn't like that Impact pushed. He didn't think it was a good idea for his character, which you can respect that. You can respect that he didn't like the way his character was portrayed in that manner and wanted to try and keep building up the value there. I'm not going to read verbatim the whole interview, but we'll leave it at this. So if he did pitch a different idea and it just wasn't received very well, they can agree to disagree and move forward. But if it's one of those where he just decided he wasn't going to show up because he didn't like the idea, that's bad on him. That's unprofessional behavior, and that's something that should be addressed, with him. I think Sammy's a great talent, and he definitely gives me vibes of old Eddie Guerrero. I wouldn't want to wish him any kind of trouble. But if it was a situation where, he did act unprofessional, that would have to be addressed on its own. I would like to see them keep doing stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing him in the tournament for, not necessarily to face Kenny Omega, but maybe even to face Josh Alexander down the lines for the X Division title. I think that would be good. But we'll see if they come up with anything else for him. But I'm going to call this a wrap. I'm talking almost for 45 minutes straight here. This is a little bit different, not being able to bounce ideas off of someone and move along that way and basically just talk to myself inside this microphone here. So if you guys are able to provide me any kind of feedback, whether it be on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, email, any of those things, I definitely would like to hear it. I would like to hear what your opinion of it is and whether or not I should even continue doing this, because you guys are getting tired of hearing me talk by myself. We'll see how that goes. I would welcome and appreciate any feedback you're able to give. But before I wrap this up, you can get us on Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at WrestlingSCool. You can follow us on Facebook as Wrestling Still Cool, Instagram Wrestling Still Cool, TikTok Wrestling Still Cool 90, LinkedIn Wrestling Still Cool, and email us at wrestlingstillcool@gmail.com. And again, I can't stress this enough. We definitely want to hear the ratings. I would like to get any kind of feedback that we can of how you appreciate the show. I'm trying to make sure that, again, even though, and then I'm going to address this now, even though Mark wasn't been a part of this episode as well as the last interview I recorded, which was Sean O'Brien, what kind of feedback you have for us? We're trying to continue to maintain this while Mark is dealing with his personal demons here, as well as I'm dealing with my own personal demons. I lost a family member as recent as Thursday night, but I wanted to keep building this brand, and I want to keep providing you guys with content. If you are one of the many listeners out there, I appreciate you. So that's why I'm doing this. I want to keep this going because one of the things that I've always needed is if there is any time I'm dealing with any kind of hardships within my personal life, I always look to people that entertained me, whether it be someone on YouTube, whether it be movies, whether it be a TV show, whether it even be a podcast, because I've been listening to The Raven Effect now for 4 years, I think, right around there. It's been a long time. So it's one of those where I appreciate when I'm able to listen to something that kind of takes my mind off of what I'm going through and be able to be entertained by them. So, I want to provide that to everybody here that does listen to our show, that does download it, and does feel, and even though that people that might not like it, that wrestling is still a cool thing to kind of invest in. We are all fans here. We all look to the channel, and we all have our own opinions on it. And whether or not you agree or disagree with me, I still want to provide that to you. I do want to provide you being able to listen to us and hear our opinions. And even if you guys listen to us because you can't watch the show and you want to get the news wrap up, or I'm not listening to the show, but watch the TV show and get the news wrapped up, or talk about what happened on the channel, talk about how frustrated we are with Retribution, whatever the case may be, we want to be able to provide that to you. And Mark is dealing with a little bit of a personal problem, and I'm here to support him. He needed to take a break, and I can appreciate that. I'm going to try and record at least one episode a week, if not including the interviews, which, again, like I said, I have another one coming up with Intergender Bonanza champion Marcus Mathers that we'll be recording on Wednesday, which the timing of the episodes, I think this one will actually go up on Wednesday, and the Sean O'Brien interview, which predates this in terms of recording, will actually go up on Monday. It's ready to go. It's already loaded and ready to be released. So this one will probably go up on Wednesday. Like I said, I'm recording this on Saturday night, which is May 1st. But Marcus Mathers I'll record on Wednesday, which I'm thinking I'm probably going to save for the following Monday to be uploaded. But I want to continue recording episodes for you guys. So I'm going to try and keep this style of content going at least weekly. I'm going to try and keep watching the shows, giving my opinion on the shows, as well as still provide you. I do want to do a rebooking of Retribution and how I would do it. I don't know how long that episode would be because I don't have anyone to pitch this idea to. I'm pretty much, like I said, talking to a mic to a computer screen. So we'll see how that goes. And right now I know I'm at over 40 minutes of talking, just straight talking here, which I guess it's good that my parents never really told me to shut up as a kid, I guess. Either way, I want you guys to do what you can. I want to entertain you guys, and this is why I'm recording these episodes here. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you listening. Again, Mark will be back, and we'll probably move back to an hour-long episodes at those points. But keep on the lookout for the Sean O'Brien interview, which I'm going to be uploading this after. I don't know why I say be on the lookout, but check out the Sean O'Brien interview. It was a very, very good interview. A guy was super interesting. He's a referee within the independents, and he was able to provide some things that he's dealt with as a referee. We also have the Marcus Mathers interview coming up again. Like I said, he just won the belt, so I wanted to have a chance to talk to him. But Stan Styles is our guy. I appreciate Stan